The air in Washington crackled with tension as the Senate chamber grew quiet, cameras rolled, staffers leaned in, and America held its breath. What began as a routine exchange turned into an unforgettable clash, a clash not of policies alone, but of pride, grit, and the raw essence of human struggle. On one side stood Elizabeth Warren, the seasoned senator known for her sharp intellect and biting comebacks. On the other stood Senator John Kennedy, a man underestimated by many for his folksy accent and plain-spoken style. What happened next was more than politics. It was a lesson in humility, resilience, and the power of lived experience over polished words. Elizabeth Warren struck first. With a smirk that could cut glass, she questioned Kennedy's grasp of economic policy, implying his background made him unfit to weigh in on the big ideas shaping the nation. It wasn't just a jab at his argument, it was a jab at his intelligence. The chamber stirred with uncomfortable murmurs. For a moment, it seemed Kennedy would retreat, brushed aside by the intellectual weight Warren wielded so effortlessly. But instead, something remarkable happened. Kennedy didn't fire back with statistics or complicated jargon. He reached deep into his life story, pulling out something Warren hadn't expected: authenticity. With calm eyes and a steady voice, Kennedy spoke of the lessons he learned not from textbooks, but from the grit of the streets and the quiet wisdom of working families who struggle every day to make ends meet. He painted pictures of neighbors who knew the true cost of inflation, not because they studied economic theory, but because they had to choose between paying rent or filling prescriptions. His words carried weight because they weren't abstract, they were lived. And as he spoke, the atmosphere shifted. The room leaned in not to the professor's lecture, but to the storyteller's truth. For Warren, the challenge was clear. She had entered the exchange prepared for a debate of policy points, but Kennedy had turned the battlefield into something more profound: a clash between academic intelligence and street wisdom. The polished senator found herself cornered not by insults, but by the undeniable power of lived experience. Kennedy's voice grew stronger as he described how common sense often sees what elite analysis overlooks. He argued that intelligence isn't measured by one's ability to spin complex theories, but by one's ability to survive, adapt, and make decisions when life leaves no room for error. The chamber erupted in applause. Even Warren's allies seemed taken aback by Kennedy's unshakable confidence and heartfelt delivery. What could have ended as another soundbite exchange in the political arena had transformed into something much deeper, a reminder that true wisdom often lies in simplicity. The senator who had been mocked as slow or unpolished had just turned the tables, not by outzoning his opponent, but by out-humbling her. And yet, this moment wasn't about humiliation, it was about redemption. Kennedy didn't use the platform to belittle Warren, he used it to elevate the voices of people who feel forgotten. His victory wasn't just personal, it was for every American who's been told they aren't smart enough or qualified enough to sit at the table of power. He reminded the nation that education is invaluable, but so is experience. That data matters, but so do stories. That while Warren's world may thrive in classrooms and lecture halls, Kennedy's truth lived in kitchen tables and grocery aisles. By the end, something remarkable had happened. The crowd didn't just cheer, they felt the sting of arrogance, the triumph of authenticity, and the strength that comes when someone stands tall against condescension. Kennedy walked away not just having defended his intelligence, but having redefined it. This clash left behind an inspiring message that reached beyond politics. Intelligence wears many faces. Some wear it in academic degrees, others in street smarts forged by hardship. But neither is lesser, both are necessary for a nation to thrive. What matters most is respect, the ability to listen, to learn, and to understand that every voice carries wisdom, no matter its accent or vocabulary. And so, the legacy of that fiery exchange will echo far beyond Washington. Elizabeth Warren may have entered the debate with sharp wit, but John Kennedy left it with something sharper: the truth that wisdom belongs to all of us. And in that truth, he not only destroyed the mockery aimed at him, a broken bar, he inspired a country to see intelligence in a whole new light.